In the following piece of footage, taken from a toddler monitor late at night, a parent captures something that still hasn't been explained. The camera is pointed directly at the crib, showing a close-up of their toddler sleeping peacefully. Nothing unusual at first. The room is dim, lit only by the soft glow of the baby cam, and the house is completely quiet.
What the f is it? That's so weird. Well! I'll kill you, son of a...
If you look closely, right beside the toddler, another head can clearly be seen resting in the crib. It looks like a second child, partially obscured, facing the camera. Moments later, the figure slightly shifts its small hand as it moves, just enough to confirm it isn't a shadow or camera glitch. The man watching the monitor panics and immediately runs toward the bedroom, still filming as he calls out. When he reaches the crib, there's nothing there at all. The room is dark, the toddler is alone, and there's no possible way another child could have been there unnoticed. After the recording ends, he insists he checked every corner of the room and the house, but found no sign of anyone else. The footage has since got many views, with many people questioning whether the camera picked up a glitch, a reflection, or something far more unsettling watching over the child that night. Andre, a young man living alone, explained that strange noises around his house were never something he really paid attention to, until one night when things escalated fast. He was sitting at his keyboard, casually practicing an impressive piece, completely focused, when a sudden clattering sound cuts through the music. He stops playing instantly, and then strange things start to happen.
Hallo?
The sound clearly didn't come from the keyboard, so he sets it down and walks into the kitchen to investigate. On the floor, a pillow from the living room is lying awkwardly, along with several other items that look like they've been knocked down all at once. As he starts picking them up, something happens behind him. A loud sliding noise echoes from the other room, and at the same time, a few keys on his keyboard press themselves, playing random notes with no one touching it. Andre slowly turns back toward the keyboard, his breathing getting heavier as he realizes the mess has spread. The trash bin has completely tipped over, spilling everything across the floor. Then it gets worse. From the living room, a sound that almost resembles a woman's voice can be heard, faint but distinct, followed by the TV turning itself on. The screen glitches with static, lagging unnaturally, before suddenly shutting off on its own. Just seconds later, the door near Andre slams violently, making him jump as the footage cuts out. Whatever caused that surge of activity came on all at once, and judging by his panic, it was the last thing he expected when he sat down to play music. Late one night, Jake was filming when he ran into his sister's bedroom holding a bottle of hot sauce, clearly not expecting anything unusual to happen. The camera swings toward the bed as he laughs, but his tone changes almost immediately when something strange catches his eye. Sitting right beside his sister is a teddy bear, and as soon as he speaks, it slowly tips over on its own. Jake reacts first, telling her the teddy just fell, but she barely looks up and calmly asks, "What?" as if nothing happened. That's when something crazy happens though. Take a look.
All right, bottle of hot sauce, or say something embarrassing. Bottle of the bear just moved.
What?
Oh my God!
That's when things escalate fast. Without anyone touching it, the teddy suddenly jerks and slides unnaturally toward the middle of the bed. It doesn't fall naturally or roll. It looks pushed, almost like something invisible forced it forward in a single, deliberate movement. The shift is quick, aggressive, and completely out of place. Both of them instantly panic, yelling as Jake pulls the camera back. There's no laughter anymore, no explanation offered, just raw fear. They scramble off the bed and run out of the room as the footage cuts abruptly. Afterward, viewers pointed out how unnatural the movement was, especially compared to the first fall. Jake later claimed neither of them touched the teddy and that nothing like that had ever happened in that room before, making this clip one of the most unsettling moments they've ever caught on camera. There's a lot of scary things you can find in your garden, but this exceeds all of them. Joseph was outside late at night, standing in his backyard and filming because he said something had been watching him from the far edge of the property for several nights in a row. At first, it's hard to make out what he's talking about, just trees in the distance, but his breathing already sounds tense, like he knows exactly where to point the camera. Eventually, he zooms in on it and passes the fear to us all.
Look, dude, she couldn't find her way over there, so now she's over here. She's back in here trying to find a way into my property. You see her? Look at that face. Oh my God. It's right there staring at me. Dude, how scary is that shit? Oh my God, dude. What the She's crawling through all this shit, bro.
As the footage continues, a pale, unnaturally still face becomes visible deep in the garden, staring directly toward him without moving. It doesn't blink, doesn't shift, just stays there in a way that feels completely wrong. Halfway through the clip, a faint glowing orb appears near the face and drifts outward, almost as if it's coming from it. Joseph reacts immediately, stepping back and narrating in disbelief, sounding more exhausted than surprised, like this isn't the first time it's happened. He doesn't chase it or get closer. He just keeps filming, clearly shaken. After posting the video, Joseph explained that the face has appeared multiple times in the opposite end of the garden, always watching, never approaching. Some people say it could be a trick of the light or an animal, but the consistency of the face, the orb, and Joseph's reaction make this one hard to brush off. Whatever was out there didn't seem lost. It seemed like it knew exactly where it was and what fear it was instilling. In this next story, a man who had been working the night shift at a hotel for several years explains the creepiest thing that's ever happened to him on the job. He says he'd never experienced anything paranormal there before, which is why this moment completely shook him.
So I've been working at a hotel for, a couple years now. And I've never had anything like this happen. And I'm borderline freaked out, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm sitting down here at the front desk, right? And I'm on the computer and I'm just typing away. Phone rings. I don't look at the phone. I just answer it. And, I say my whole little spiel or whatever. And it's just silent. The phone is just silent. After about, 3 or 4 seconds, I say hello again. Nothing. And right before I go to hang up, it sounds like I'm hearing somebody just like breathing on the other line. I just hang up and I'm like, okay, whatever. I ain't thinking twice about it. But then I go and look at the caller ID and let me show y'all something. All right. That's the room that called. Okay. Peep that. 505. Now let me show y'all something. I'm gonna go over here to the elevator so y'all know I'm not bullshitting. And I'm gonna turn the camera around. How many floors do you see here? Because I'm pretty sure we don't have a room 505 nor 5th floor. This would be the night I quit. I don't do that shit. I don't do that shit.
His story goes like this. He's sitting alone at the front desk late at night, typing away on the computer, when the phone suddenly rings. He answers it normally, but on the other end there's nothing, just silence. After a few seconds, he says hello again, assuming it might be a bad connection, but there's still no response. Just as he's about to hang up, he hears something that makes his stomach drop. Slow, heavy breathing coming through the receiver. Without thinking, he hangs up immediately and checks the caller ID, expecting to see a guest room number. Instead, it says the call came from room 505. Confused and unsettled, he grabs his phone and walks over to the elevator to prove to himself it's nothing. He shows the buttons clearly on camera, and there is no 5th floor at all. The hotel doesn't even have a room 505. The realization hits him in real time, and you can hear his voice change as it sinks in that whatever was breathing on the other end of the line didn't come from anywhere that should exist. Who knows what caused this? Two friends were exploring an abandoned flat complex late at night, filming as they moved through the outside area to document the place for themselves. The building had been empty for years, with broken windows, peeling paint, and an eerie silence that made every footstep echo. As they were scanning the upper floors from the outside with a flashlight, one of them, a guy named James, suddenly stopped. He pointed the camera toward a very specific window, saying something had moved.
Just watch this.
Isn't it? Future in hand.
430 abandoned flats, and there is something in the window.
Open. Yo. You see movement then? Move the light. Yo. What the fuck is that?
The curtains inside that flat were moving slowly, swaying back and forth even though there was no wind, and every other window in the building was completely still. James zoomed in, trying to get a clearer look, when an unnerving face suddenly appeared behind the glass. It didn't move like a normal person stepping forward. It was already there, pale and distorted, staring straight back at them from the darkness. The two friends froze, in disbelief, as the face lingered for a split second, before fading back into the shadows and disappearing entirely. After that, the curtain stopped moving. James later emphasized that there was no one else in the complex, and no way anyone could have known exactly where they were standing. Against their better judgment, they decided to go inside the building to see if there was any chance someone else was actually there. The moment they stepped into the block, it was clear the place hadn't been touched in years. Random stuff was scattered everywhere, rubbish piled up in corners, and the air felt stale and heavy. They slowly made their way toward the flat they'd been filming from outside, keeping the camera rolling the entire time.
We both go inside the building block to see who was in the window. What happens when we get in is beyond strange.
Well,
Just what?
which one is it? Check this. I can hear somebody. You know, there's dinging and beeping and... What the... What's that window there? Yo. Hello? Isn't it? Hello? Yo! Who the fuck is it?
To be continued.
As they reach the room they believe the face came from, the guy behind the camera pauses and says he can hear something moving nearby. The area itself looks empty of life, stripped bare apart from debris on the floor. Then suddenly, a sharp metallic sound rings out, like a metal pin or small object dropping onto concrete. They both freeze. A few seconds later, it happens again, this time louder and closer, echoing down the corridor. Their tone changes instantly, voices dropping as they scan the room and nearby hallways, but there's nothing and no one in sight. James calls out a hesitant hello, his voice bouncing off the empty walls. Almost immediately after, another noise answers back from somewhere deeper in the building, but the source stays completely hidden. Whatever they saw in that window didn't stay behind the glass, and at that point, the exploration stopped feeling like curiosity and started feeling like they weren't welcome there at all. Subscribe as this exploration may continue in a future video. In the following video, a man who was home alone heard aggressive tapping, so started to film. The tapping kept going, slow at first, then steadily quicker, echoing from a room just out of view of the camera. He pauses, listening, clearly trying to convince himself it's nothing, before finally calling out a hesitant hello. The second he does, everything stops, dead silent. After a few seconds of waiting, he moves toward the basement stairs where the sound seemed to be coming from and starts descending, one step at a time.
Hello?
When he reaches the bottom, his camera pans across the room and reveals every single drawer hanging wide open, with a few objects scattered across the floor as if they'd been thrown. He barely has time to process it before, out of nowhere, a piece of cutlery suddenly launches itself out of a cupboard, clattering across the room. He panics instantly and sprints back up the stairs, the camera shaking wildly. As he reaches the top, you can hear something else running behind him, footsteps charging up the stairs just seconds after he does. The video cuts shortly after, and there were never any updates posted. Whatever was down there clearly didn't want him staying, and all anyone can do now is hope he got out safely. A woman had been exploring an ancient chateau for a research project, and one night she decided to leave a camera running in the boot room to see if the strange things she'd been sensing were real. The next day, she brought the footage to her friend and colleague, Ted, to show him what she'd captured, walking him through every moment as the clip played. She explains on camera what she's doing, steps out of the room, and closes the heavy wooden door with the latch set firmly in place before the automatic sensor light clicks off behind her. What happens next is truly mental.
All of the footage I have that I left the camera overnight in the boot room to try and catch the mouse. We didn't catch the mouse. There was no mouse last night. I'm going to leave the camera out there over the next week and see if I can catch this blooming mouse. I'm just so that I can prove I'm not going mad. However, there is something else we did catch. And yeah, I'm going to go and get Ted to come and watch the footage and see what he thinks. And I'm not going to say anything to him, and you can watch at the same time. Yeah. Let's just watch the footage, and then we'll see what you think, and see if you think the same as what I think. Come and sit here, baby.
Okay. What are we looking at?
Right, so let me start playing. So this is from last night. This is me setting the camera up. So I'll set the camera up so you can see the hole in the corner. Can you see it? Hope you can see it. Anyway, I'm off to bed. It's very late. So we'll see whether we catch this mouse out in the morning, and then Ted will have to believe me that there is something running above our bedroom. I'll see you all in the morning. Good night. Now you heard me put the latch on the door there.
Yeah, it sounded like it, yeah.
Okay, so the sensor light's gone out.
Right.
So I'm going to forward this bit because it's about 2 hours, well, it is 2 hours, 27 minutes into filming last night. Now, we went to bed about midnight.
Yeah.
So this would be about 2:30. This happens. Now, you heard the latch go off the door.
Yeah.
And that's the light coming on.
The motion sensor light.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, what? There's shadow there?
Yeah.
I can see a shadow moving across it.
Yeah. Keep watching.
Oh my God. What? That's got to be an animal or something, isn't it?
That was a big shadow for an animal.
How? You can't.
How can an animal get up?
You can't have put the latch on properly.
I put the latch on because you heard the latch go on.
Yeah.
And you heard the latch come off.
I didn't actually hear the latch come off, but you know.
Right, let me play that again. You hear the latch?
Right, yeah.
The door open. Now to push that door open, that's the heavy door, you've got to push it inward. So somebody's got to be standing there to be able to open that door.
Yeah.
And there's nobody standing there.
And I've never known that door swing open on its own.
No. And the other thing is, the camera is up on a tripod. So to move it in a tilt, like it's tilted
moved,
up,
something
has moved. It hasn't moved the tripod because the tripod would fall over. It's had to move the camera.
Oh, that's... I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's the shadow that got me than anything. The shadow walk. I don't get it.
That's weird, isn't it?
I don't.
That is just
I don't
bonkers.
get it.
Now, we get asked all the time, over the years we've been here, every single person I think that has come in here has always asked, do you have ghosts in the chateau?
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
After fast-forwarding through a long, quiet stretch, the boot room door suddenly opens itself even though nobody is anywhere near it. A moment later, the sensor light snaps back on, which only happens when something moves inside that space. As they watch closely, a shadow glides across the floor. Faint but undeniably there, like a figure passing in front of the light. Then, without anything touching it, the camera tilts upward on its own, angling toward the ceiling as if something invisible had grabbed it. Ted sits there in complete disbelief as she replays the moment. But there's no denying what happened. Something was inside that room with her equipment that night. Something that wasn't supposed to be there, and the evidence couldn't be explained away. In the following video, a CCTV camera overlooking a quiet backyard captures something incredibly strange late at night, right around 9:45. The footage begins with the family dog standing near the edge of the lawn, barking non-stop at what seems to be absolutely nothing. There's no movement, no animals, nothing in the yard that should be getting its attention, yet the dog won't stop growling in one direction like it's seeing something no one else can. Out of nowhere, a shadowy shape suddenly darts across the yard. It moves fast, low to the ground, and completely silent, almost like a dark outline running on all fours, before disappearing behind the fence and out of sight. What makes it even stranger is the dog's reaction. Its head follows the figure perfectly, barking and tracking it the entire time as if it was completely real and right there. Nothing else shows up on camera, and there's no explanation for a solid shadow moving like that. Some people think it might have been a stray animal, but the shape doesn't match anything normal. Others believe it was a ghost dog or some kind of spirit animal crossing the yard. Whatever it was, it clearly wasn't something the camera should have been able to pick up, yet it did. A pair of girls exploring their parents' bedroom decided to film a video because the house is up for sale, and they're convinced something inside it is still very paranormally active. They both turn on their flashlights and night vision, slowly scanning around the room while telling stories about past things that had happened in there, the kind of stories that made them uneasy even now. The bedroom is quiet at first, too quiet, until a sudden knock echoes from the far side of the room, making them immediately press their backs against the wall. They both quietly ask if it can knock again, clearly hoping nothing happens. Eventually, though, it listens.
Okay, hey guys. I know it's not a comedy video, but this is one of our more serious videos. Well, we're in Caroline's house right now, and we're in her parents' bedroom. This house has been up for quite a while.
Time,
yeah, it's very old, and her parents and her and think there's some paranormal activity going on in here.
Hold on, I'm trying to...
And so, we want to kind of see if we can get stuff and try to talk to the thing. I don't know what it is. So
we're guessing it's like a ghost.
We're gonna record it, and we're gonna. I'm kind of scared in it.
Yeah.
And
but yeah, for a few hours, we're actually gonna be ghost hunters. So
yeah, we're gonna be ghost hunters. I'm scared.
I know.
Okay.
Gonna be quite an adventure.
Okay, so here we go. Let's go.
Okay, let's try this stuff.
Oh my god, I'm scared. Okay,
I'm following you.
Go
Okay.
in first. No, go in first. Just film in here.
Like one time.
What's that?
I don't know.
Never mind. I guess I'm.
Okay, so like one time, right over there, the bookshelf, like my parents were sleeping and something fell, and they don't know what it was and everything, and so we were like trying to explain it for like quite some time, but we couldn't, and it's like really scary. So let's try to like do something with the bookshelf. I don't know what to do exactly, but we can maybe like call the spirit and kind of like tease it. Like, oh my god. Oh my god, Carolyn. Did you hear Should that? We not do this right now? No, let's do it. Okay. Oh my god. Did you hear that? Oh no. It was like knocking. I don't know. I'm scared. Okay, I'm gonna put my back against the wall because. Okay. No, I heard knocking though. Okay, you see this. Put your hands up. Okay. Okay, ready? We're holding the camera with our arm, right? Yeah. Okay. And I'm holding the camera with this arm. Okay, so if there's a ghost in here, knock. Oh my god. Oh my god. Maybe that could have been your brother or sister. I'm crying. Okay, that could have been your brother or sister. But I'm like okay. Ready? So let's try that again. Maybe it just happened to be a coincidence. Okay. If there's a ghost in here, knock twice. Knock. Yeah, knock twice. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think I'm gonna leave. Finish. No, wait. One more thing. Okay, one thing. No. Okay. If there's a ghost in here, and I'm pretty sure there is, then, oh my god, knock as close as you can to us. Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, shh. Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, no. I think I'm done. No. We have to do this. Okay. We have to do this. Oh my god. So, let's listen for some sounds like footsteps or just regular sounds. We'll just listen. And we have our hands up. Put your hands up. Oh. And she's holding the camera. Yeah, I'm holding the camera. Look at my arm. See that? Oh my god! Oh my god! Is that a book? Oh my god, that was a book. The book just fell off the shelf. That book just fell off the shelf, I swear to god. Oh my god, what's the noise? Okay, so we're gonna listen for more noises. That book was really scary. Yeah, that book was really scary. I had never really witnessed that. You hear that? Film over there. Where? Wait, hold on. Shh. Let me hear. Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god, it sounds like there's something moving on the carpet. What is it? I can't see. It's black. Wait, look. Oh my god, the book's moving. Brianna, the book's moving. Whoa. Oh my god. Should we leave? Brianna, oh my god. It's coming closer to us, Brianna. Shh. It stopped. Should I grab it? No. Should we grab it? Do you think that it has to do with what's the title? What book? Title of the book? I'm scared again. I'm scared. I know. Wait, where is it? It's right there. Wait, let me zoom in. Just, yeah. Can you guys read that? What does that say? I don't know. What's on it? I don't know, but it's scary looking. Oh! There's something in the closet. Oh my god.
The knock happens again, louder this time. Nervous but desperate to know if it's real, they ask for 2 knocks instead, and sure enough, 2 sharp taps hit the wall like something was responding directly to them. The final test is what pushes them into full panic. They ask it to knock as close to them as it can, barely finishing the sentence before a loud knock hits right beside them, so close it almost sounds like it came from the wall they were leaning on. They get visibly frightened and start backing away, and as they do, a book suddenly falls from the bookshelf with no one near it. Whatever is in that house didn't just hear them. It listened and answered exactly as asked, pretty much confirming for them that the place really is haunted. Two men were hanging out inside a house late at night when they both heard something moving in the hallway, so one of them pulled out his phone and started recording to prove they weren't imagining things. At first, the footage is quiet, just the two of them whispering and trying to figure out where the noise came from, until they spot a door at the end of the hall, slowly shutting on its own, like someone was gently pushing it closed from the other side.
Hola. Mames, güey, está Hasta huele raro, güey. ¡Ay! La puerta. No seas mamón, Chris. A ver. A ver, güey. Ay, güey, chistaron, güey. No mames. A ver, explícame esto.
They both inch toward it, the guy with the camera staying behind his friend as the door creeps almost fully shut before they finally reach it. The first man hesitates, waiting to see if it'll stop or open again, but nothing happens, so he places his hand on it and pushes it open in one slow motion. The room behind it is empty. There's no one inside, no draft, no windows open, nothing that could have caused it to move at all. The two of them stand there in silence, staring into the empty doorway while the house stays completely still, almost like whatever closed that door didn't want to be seen. They're back filming again, this time in the kitchen, because after the door incident they both agreed they weren't done documenting whatever was happening in that house. They try to act normal, talking quietly and checking corners, when something at the far end of the room catches their attention.
Mucha atención a lo que está a punto de suceder con el adorno en esta casa del poltergeist.
De las niñas, vengan por acá, güey. O sea, sí está perro, güey. La neta, aquí estar en este rollo, güey. Y sí se siente pesadísimo, güey. Muy pesadísimo. ¡Ay, no cabrón! Mames. ¿Sí viste, güey?
No te pases de lanza, güey.
¿Sí vieron, güey? ¿Qué se cayó?
No mames.
Güey? ¿Qué se cayó, güey? ¿Qué se cayó, güey? No mames. Ah, la madre. Yo, ¿sabes que me asusté, güey? Pensé que era una...
Through an empty interior window that looks into the next room, a dark face suddenly rises into view for a split second, like someone slowly peeked up from below the frame before dropping out of sight again. The two men freeze instantly, whispering to each other in disbelief as they walk closer to check behind it. But when they lean over the counter and look into the next room, there's nothing. No furniture someone could hide behind, no shadows lining up with anything. No way someone could have ducked out of sight that quickly. The window frame is completely open, empty on both sides. The way that face appeared then vanished gives the same feeling as the door shutting earlier, like something in that house is watching them back and only showing itself when it wants to. Eugene was home alone at around 2 in the morning, his girlfriend staying over at her parents' place, leaving him as the only person in the apartment. He walks into the corridor with his camera, already anxious because he swears he's been hearing someone calling him by his nickname from somewhere in the dark. Take a look.
Eu achei que tinha parado, mas eu acabei de voltar de viagem. O negócio ainda tá acontecendo, mano. Velho, o que é símbolo desse quarto? Caralho.
Aqui?
Ah, mano, na moral. Não dá, velho, não dá. Toda vez. Cara. Não é possível, velho. Velho, na moral, mano. Velho. Não faz sentido, mano. Caralho. Ah, mano, não tem como não, cara. Toda vez é uma coisa, parça. Puta que pariu, meu irmão.
As he films, the voice becomes clearer, almost as if it's getting closer to him with every passing second. Suddenly he hears movement coming from one of the rooms off the corridor, followed by the door slowly opening on its own. Eugene hesitates, but eventually forces himself to step inside, sweeping the camera across the empty room. There's nothing, no one hiding, no windows open, no sign that anyone had been in there. But the second he walks deeper inside, the door swings shut behind him, trapping him in there for a moment. He panics and sprints out of the room, breathing hard as he makes it back into the hallway. The clip ends shortly after, but Eugene later stated that he didn't stop running until he was fully out of the apartment. Whatever was calling his name that night wasn't human, and it definitely didn't want him there. Still shaken from the first encounter, Eugene starts filming again in the same dim corridor, breathing heavily as he tries to steady himself. He explains that things haven't calmed down at all, and he's now hearing a different voice, one that clearly sounds female. At first, it's faint, almost like it's coming from far down the hall, so Eugene slowly takes a few steps toward the sound, keeping the camera aimed straight ahead in case anything moves. As he gets closer, the voice suddenly echoes again, this time much louder and unmistakably right behind him, almost as if someone whispered directly into his ear. Eugene spins around instantly, shaking, but the corridor is completely empty. Before he can process what just happened, the sound of footsteps erupts from behind him, fast and heavy, sprinting toward him even though nobody is there. Eugene gasps and darts into the nearest doorway, hiding inside the small room with the camera trembling in his hands. The footage stops right as he enters. He later explained that he stayed there frozen, not daring to breathe too loudly, realizing whatever he heard wasn't trying to scare him by accident. It knew exactly where he was. Ian the ghost hunter is back again, and if you remember his previous encounter inside that old factory, this new footage is a direct continuation of that same investigation. Earlier that night, he claimed the activity deeper in the building felt heavier than usual, so he decided to explore one of the rooms he hadn't checked before. He walks into a large storage space completely filled with mannequins, all standing in random poses with their faces warped and distorted from age and heat damage. Ian mentions on camera that he's never liked rooms like this, and you can tell he's nervous but forces himself to speak out.
Did you just move one of these mannequins? Could you move one right now? Any one of these. No. Oh. Dude. That thing just freaking started rocking. Oh, no. Are you freaking serious? It had to be like one of the freakiest looking ones, too. It looks freaking demented. Oh, God. One of the ones back there moved. I freaking just heard that. Are these mannequins possessed? She just moved. She more than moved. She slid forward.
Suddenly, one of the mannequins begins rocking back and forth on its own. This is easily one of the freakiest things I've ever witnessed.
He raises his voice slightly and asks if whatever spirit is in the building can move one of the mannequins just to prove it's listening. For a moment, nothing happens, and then one of them slowly shifts to the side. Ian almost drops his flashlight. Suddenly, that same mannequin starts rocking back and forth, as if someone was pushing it from behind. Before he can even process it, another mannequin across the room jerks slightly. Ian's breathing gets shaky, but he continues speaking, asking if the mannequins are possessed. As soon as the words leave his mouth, yet another mannequin moves, barely but undeniably. All of them stay completely still afterward, their distorted faces visible at him in the dim light, making the entire room feel alive in the worst possible way. Ian eventually steps back into the hallway, saying this might be the most unsettling room he has ever investigated. In the following video, a man began filming late at night after the unsettling sound of constant knocking echoed through his house. The knocking was rhythmic, steady, and didn't stop, no matter how long he waited. He gets up, phone in hand, and walks slowly toward the front door, the knocks growing louder with each step. Even as he reaches for the handle, it keeps going with hard, deliberate thuds that seem to come from the other side. He hesitates for a moment before unlocking it, takes a deep breath, and swings the door open. Instantly, the sound stops. The air outside is dead silent, the porch empty, and the street beyond completely still. Just as he turns to head back inside, he notices something strange, a single mysterious branch lying perfectly in the center of his doorstep, as if it had been placed there. Confused, he picks it up and brings it to the trash, wondering how it could have got there. He shuts the door behind him after going back inside. No more knocking, no more movement, just the eerie sense that whatever had been at his door had left something behind on purpose. The next clip picks up at the very same door, recorded just a few nights later. This time, instead of knocking, there's a strange snapping sound coming from outside, quick, sharp, and repeating in perfect intervals. It was almost like a whipping noise. The man hesitates, clearly unnerved, before deciding to open the door again. As soon as the door swings open, the snapping stops dead. He steps outside cautiously, scanning the porch and yard with his phone light, expecting to find an animal or a loose branch in the wind, but the night is completely still. Then, as his camera pans down, something catches his eye, a single branch lying neatly across his doormat. It's almost identical to the one he found before. He crouches down, examining it for a moment before whispering that he doesn't understand how it got there. There's no movement, no explanation, just that same uneasy silence pressing against the air. The clip ends with him slowly backing inside, locking the door again, clearly realizing this wasn't just some random coincidence. Whatever was leaving those branches seemed to be coming back for more, so he needs to do something to stop it. So suggest some ideas in the comments section. Unedited security footage from a metal gate warehouse captured something that left the entire staff stunned. Earlier that night, one of the workers had gone to check the main gate and confirmed it was firmly padlocked before heading back inside to grab the keys. Only 5 minutes later, this clip was recorded. The heavy gate can be seen rattling gently at first, as though someone is tugging from the other side, even though the lot is completely empty. Then the padlock begins to twist on its own, slowly turning in place before it clicks free and drops to the ground. The gate swings open right after this happens, swinging all the way until it's wide open, exposing nothing but darkness beyond it. The camera shows no people, no animals, and no movement anywhere nearby. When the worker returned with the keys, they found the gate unlocked and open exactly like in the footage. After reviewing it, he immediately quit his job, saying he refused to work somewhere that could unlock itself so easily. Viewers online agreed it was one of the clearest examples of paranormal interference ever caught on CCTV, and I bet people will think twice before shopping here in the future. A man was spending a quiet evening at home, watching cartoons with his son, while his wife got ready in the bathroom. Everything felt perfectly normal until he noticed movement behind the curtain-like blanket covering a door nearby. At first, he thought maybe his son had thrown something or that a draft had made it shift, but the timing felt too precise, too intentional.
Todo había estado tranquilo.
Esta vez no. Miren lo que está pasando. Ya no había pasado nada. Estoy jugando con mi hijo. Estamos viendo caricaturas. Miren. Mi esposa está en el baño. Vamos a ver.
¿Qué carajo es eso?
¿Qué es eso? No mames. Maldita sea, vamos a prender el flash. Ahí espera, hijo. ¿Qué fue eso? No hay nadie en la cocina. Oh, mierda. ¿Qué?
Ahora sí me dio miedo.
¿Qué es eso?
He began filming, explaining that nobody else was supposed to be in the house, his voice uneasy as he reached for the edge of the curtain. Pulling it aside, he revealed the dark room beyond, and for a split second, a shadowy figure could be seen peeking out from across the room before retreating. His breathing quickened as he glanced back to make sure his son didn't follow. Gripping a flashlight, he stepped carefully into the room the shape had vanished into. The beam swept across the furniture and walls, but there was nothing. No person, no movement, not even a sound. The atmosphere was thick and silent, the kind of silence that makes your skin crawl. When he checked the footage later, He realized the shadow had leaned out just enough for its head to be visible, and there was no logical way anyone could have been standing there. It was around 3 in the morning when the man started recording again. This time, both he and his wife were awake, startled by the sound of repeated knocking at their door. At first, he brushed it off as the family dog, but the rhythm was too precise and far too constant to be an animal.
¿Qué onda, banda? Son las 3 y cacho de la mañana. Estoy grabando este video porque nos despertaban unos golpes en la puerta, como si estuvieran tocando. Pensamos que era el perro, pero ya son muchos y repetidamente. No sé, estoy con mi esposa y mi hijo. Y a mi esposa me dijo que ya me levante a ver porque sí, ya está raro. Así que pues, vamos a ir a ver qué onda, porque esto sí está... Está canijo. Ya están tocando mucho. Y el perro sí, ya no puede ser. Dije, nomás voy a buscar unas chanclas, unos tenis o algo. Y pues vamos a ver qué onda. Que sí, ya. Esto está raro. Vamos a ver qué. No, esto sí no. No, madre. Esta puerta está cerrada. No hay nadie aquí tampoco. Esta Valkyria. Hey Google, ¿qué hora es?
Son las 3:10 de la mañana.
Nada, amor, nada.
His wife stayed in bed while he got up, muttering that he'd check it out. Slipping on his shoes, he walked down the dark hallway, the steady thuds still echoing through the house. When he reached the door, he froze. Through the smudged glass, a faint face could be seen on the other side, distorted by the frosted surface but human enough to send a chill down his spine. He steadied his camera and opened the door in one swift motion, only to find nothing. The driveway was empty, the air still. Confused, he stepped outside, scanning the area with his flashlight, but no one was anywhere nearby. When he went back inside, the knocking had stopped completely, and the house was quiet again. His wife, still in bed, asked what it was. He didn't have an answer. That the face he saw through that glass wasn't clear, but it was definitely there. A man was checking the baby cam and audio monitor at a random interval of the day when he noticed something strange. The monitor was picking up odd, distorted noises coming from his baby's bedroom, even though his wife and child weren't in there.
Alright, check this out. There's this noise coming from the bedroom. But my wife and my baby, they're not here. They're not in the bedroom. And this noise happens every day at this exact time. Man. Yeah, there's no one in there. No one.
The sounds were difficult to describe, but the best I can say is not quite static. Not a voice either, but something unsettling in between. He explains that this has been happening every day around the same time, as if on a schedule. The baby's room looks completely still on the camera feed, yet the noise keeps repeating, growing louder for a few seconds before fading again. Then, without warning, the bedroom door creaks open by itself, slowly swinging into view. The man's breathing quickens as the audio monitor continues to hiss faintly in the background. He's left frozen in disbelief, realizing that something, or someone, has been entering that room every night unseen. The clip ends with him saying they're moving out immediately. He says he can't take the risk of leaving his baby in that room again. CCTV footage from inside a quiet living room shows Magnus sitting on his couch, watching TV late at night. Everything seems normal until he gets up to use the toilet, then returns and settles back into the same spot.
My house is still haunted. After a long time, something finally happened. It really scared me this time.
Without warning, the television shuts off on its own. Confused, Magnus looks around for the remote, checking the couch cushions and the table beside him. Just as he starts to move toward the TV, the blinds behind it suddenly collapse, crashing down with a loud snap. Startled, he stumbles backward and falls, his reaction caught perfectly on camera. The footage ends shortly after, but according to Magnus, that moment left him shaken. He checked the wiring, the remote, and even the bracket holding the blinds, but nothing was out of place. He's since stopped watching TV at night, claiming that every time he sits on that couch now, he feels like someone's watching from behind those same windows. Brandon posted a video his dad recorded after claiming that ever since he used a Ouija board as a teenager, something has followed him. In this video, his breathing is deep and unsteady, as dragging sounds echo just outside his bedroom.
Contexto: mi papá de joven jugó a la Ouija y desde entonces se siente perseguido. No terminó el juego como se debe. Ya antes le habían ocurrido sucesos paranormales, pero nunca había grabado.
¡Ay, cabrón! No manches. ¿Qué era eso? No. Ay, no manches. No. Ay, no mames, no mames.
He slips on his slippers, muttering to himself before slowly walking toward the door. When he opens it, the hallway ahead looks strangely off, dim and stretched in a way that feels almost unnatural and uncanny. He steps forward, scanning the shadows, but then suddenly gasps as a pale face briefly peeks out from behind the corner. The camera jerks as he hurries toward it, only to find nothing waiting there. Trying to steady his breath, He turns to head back, but before he can step through the doorway, it slams shut right in front of him. The clip cuts off immediately after. Brandon later explained that his dad was badly shaken, but otherwise fine, saying the old presence had finally shown itself. Since that night, his dad refuses to sleep in that room, claiming the air feels heavier there. It's almost like something's waiting for him to open the door again. A school cleaner, convinced something strange had been happening in the school throughout his time there, decided to set up a camera to finally get proof. The video begins with him adjusting the device, commenting on how he's not sure whether the quality will be good enough to capture anything, and he looks visibly confused.
Okay. I'm not doing this right. Okay. I can't even see myself.
As he fiddles with the camera and looks around, a transparent figure quietly glides into a doorway behind him, and it goes completely unnoticed. The shape lingers for a brief moment before fading into the darkness, almost blending into the shadows of the room it entered. The cleaner continues talking to himself, unaware that he just caught exactly what he was looking for. When he later reviewed the footage, the moment froze him in place. He immediately sent the video to the school principal, who is now reportedly considering further action to investigate what might be haunting the halls. For now, the cleaner refuses to work shifts past midday, saying that after seeing what the camera picked up, the school doesn't feel empty anymore. The man in the upcoming video was tidying up a cluttered room, picking items off the floor and stacking them neatly when something strange started happening.
No manches. La casa está embrujada. Vete para allá conmigo. ¡Ey! No, no hagan eso. No, pero se estaban abriendo ahorita bien feos, ahorita está bien leve. No manches, no las orejas. ¿Por qué es que no? Ay, no, tío. Se están abriendo solos. No manches. Ay, no. Ay, no, me da miedo. ¿Ya cerraste el otro? Ya cerré los dos. ¿Qué es el canelo? Córrele, que aquí espantan. Échale las cosas. Es todo por irte el Día de Muertos a celebrar. Trajiste algo, tío.
No, ¿por qué dijiste?
Por ir a tus... ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cómo? ¿A dónde fue? Mira, mira otra vez. No manches, ya, qué horrible cae. ¿Qué se espanta, abuelita?
¿Qué?
No lo voy a bajar.
¿Dónde está?
¿Se cerró? No manches, no, hay que traer un padrecito. O algo. Abuelita, ya me dio miedo, en serio, ya lo estoy cotorreando.
Mira.
Mi risa es de nervio.
Me puso la piel chinita.
No digas, no, vámonos ya, abuelita. Yo me voy con mi tío Diego, ahorita vengo. No, ya, no.
As he crouched down, the cupboard right beside him slowly slid open on its own. Startled, he reached up and shut it, only for it to slide back open, just as his hand touched the handle, making it almost impossible to close. Frustrated, he moved some things aside and tried again. This time it stayed shut, or so he thought. About 20 seconds later, as he continued sorting through the mess on the floor, the same cupboard creaked open again before closing by itself. He stood up and checked every nearby cabinet, opening and closing each one to test the hinges, but everything seemed normal. Just when he decided to walk away, the cupboard adjacent to the first one suddenly slid open, then shut again on its own. Both cupboards began moving one after the other, as if reacting to him. He still swears someone was pranking him, but there's never been any evidence of anyone else being there. Even now, the cupboards occasionally open on their own, almost like they're still waiting for him to come back and clean. Suddenly, in the middle of the night, a woman was woken up by the sound of screaming outside her window. Disoriented but curious, she grabbed her phone and began filming. Little did she know that she was about to catch something bizarre on camera.
I just woke up. I heard someone screaming outside my window. Oh my God. What? There's a guy out there and he's just staring out my window. What is he doing? What the hell? Is he staring at me?
Through the window, she zooms in toward the parking lot across from her apartment, and there, standing completely still under the dim streetlight, is a person. Their head is unnaturally tilted, body frozen, staring directly toward her window. They're too far away to make out any facial features, yet the stillness of the figure feels disturbingly intentional, as if whoever, or whatever it is, knows she's watching. After a few tense moments, she whispers that she's going to check her door, but before she can, a rustling noise comes from inside her cupboard behind her. She spins around, breathing heavily, opening the door to reveal nothing but empty shelves. When she turns the camera back toward the window, the figure is gone. Viewers still debate whether it was a person or something else entirely, but many agree that no one should have been standing that still, that late, staring straight into her window. The video continues right from where the last one ended, her breathing heavy as she bolts out of her bedroom and rushes down the stairs.
Oh my God, I think there was something fucking in my room. I don't know.
The camera shakes while she fumbles for her keys, her voice trembling as she vigorously attempts to get out of her home. She bursts through the main doors of her apartment complex and steps into the cold night air, trying to steady herself. For a moment, it's quiet. That's until she makes the mistake of looking back up toward her window. Behind the glass, a dark, human-like shadow can be seen moving down the stairs, slow and deliberate, as if it's following the same path she just took. The movement is faint but clear enough to make her voice crack, and she is well aware that nobody else should have been awake at such an ungodly hour. She keeps the camera aimed for a few more seconds before getting into her car, unsure whether to drive off or call for help. I wish her all of my luck on escaping this creature. Ian, the Midwest ghost hunter, who's been exploring the same abandoned theater for weeks, returned to wrap up what he thought would be his final investigation there. The air was cold and silent, his flashlight beam cutting through the dust as he stood near the stage, recording his closing thoughts for his viewers.
Alright guys, I think I've had enough. I think we'll call it a night. It's getting pretty late. Thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing, up to 50K already. Holy crap. And what the f? That was a piano. I was about ready to stop recording. Hello? Oh, there it is. That's the piano. I just heard that. But look at this thing, it's completely shut. How could that happen? It's not one of those player pianos, is it? I doubt it. This thing looks ancient. What does that say? Mabel's piano? What? No freaking way!
Just as he begins to thank everyone for watching and remind them to subscribe, a piano, sitting in the corner of the room, lets out a few quiet notes, soft but clear enough to stop him mid-sentence. He freezes, staring toward it in disbelief, before slowly walking over. The instrument is covered in dust, the keys untouched for what must have been years. He thoroughly checks the surroundings of the piano, but nothing looks out of place. There's no draft, no strings moving on their own, nothing that could have caused it. The silence that follows is deafening. Whatever played those notes clearly wanted him to stay a little longer, and Ian admitted afterward that this was the moment he truly started to believe the theater might be alive. In the following video, a man behind his camera in a school captures something incredibly strange while walking through what appears to be an old sports facility. He starts recording as a heavy door in front of him is slowly shutting on its own, creaking eerily as it moves. Take a look.
Esa puerta también. ¿Vieron? Dicen que mis videos son actuados, pero están viendo, no hay nada. ¿Vieron cómo se cerró la puerta? No soy el único que mira o escucha cosas. Pero bueno.
He carefully approaches the closing door, moving to an angle that allows him to start looking behind to see if maybe someone was there pulling it closed. But the space is completely empty. Nobody's around, no strings, no air vents strong enough to cause that movement. Curious, he decides to step through the door into the sports hall, beyond it. The moment he crosses the threshold, the door suddenly stops moving, freezing mid-shut, as if whatever was closing it just stopped. He pans the camera around the wide, empty hall, showing rows of benches and a faint echo from his own footsteps, but there's no sign of anyone else. The entire thing feels unsettlingly timed, almost like the door only moved until he entered the hall, then deliberately went still. A few days later, the same man decided to return to the school, determined to see if he could capture anything else unusual on camera. This time, he was crouched at the end of one of the long corridors, filming as he went to document the atmosphere of the place.
¡Oh, hijo de su puta madre!
nadie. Está cerrado. Vámonos de aquí.
Everything seems normal at first, as the lights hum faintly and the echo of his footsteps fill the hallway. But just as he starts to think nothing is going to happen this time, something strange happens at the far end. A large wheelie bin, which had been completely still, suddenly shifts a few inches on its own, rolling slightly across the floor before stopping again. There's no one near it, no airflow, and no reason for it to move at all. The man behind the camera is utterly shaken by what he just witnessed. The bin's subtle but deliberate movement adds another layer of mystery to the already unsettling activity he'd been documenting in this abandoned school, and who knows if he will ever return. In this next piece of footage, we're looking at security camera footage taken from inside a family home. The system detects movement in the dining room, and the homeowner's wife can be seen walking in before taking a seat at the table. What happens next is extremely hard to explain, so I'll let you watch it for yourself. The camera captures a series of loud bangs echoing throughout the room, though nothing seems to be falling or breaking. The noises suddenly stop, and the woman pulls out a chair, sitting down slowly at the table. What's unnerving is the way she sits. She sat with her arms laid flat across the surface, head bowed down, completely still. After a few seconds, the other chairs around her begin to shift on their own, sliding back as if invisible guests were taking their seats. Then one of the ornaments on the table slides across the surface, stopping right in front of her. A few moments later, a nearby door slams shut with a loud thud. The woman finally lifts her head slightly, breaking her stillness, and the clip cuts off abruptly, leaving viewers to wonder if she was ever really alone in that room. CCTV footage recorded at around 11 p.m. using a Wise camera set up in a living room captured something jaw-dropping. At first, nothing seems unusual as the footage is quiet, dimly lit, and the only movement comes from a few small orbs drifting near the camera lens. But 22 seconds in, things take a strange turn. On the left-hand side of the frame, just inside a doorway, something appears to peek out. It's quick but clear. The shape is small, almost childlike, and seems to lean forward before darting back out of sight. The house is supposed to be empty, yet there's definitely movement. A few seconds later, a lamp beside the door suddenly flickers to life on its own, illuminating the space where the figure appeared. The camera keeps rolling in silence after that, but nothing else moves. Many who've seen this footage believe it's some kind of spirit, especially considering no one else was home when it happened. Let me know what you think in the comment section though. The clip that I am going to expose you to shortly was recorded in pitch darkness with poor camera quality, relying entirely on night vision to capture what's happening. The footage begins with the man slowly walking toward a staircase, breathing heavily as he steadies the camera. What happens when he takes his first step up them is insane.
Okay, everybody, hold still for a second. Hello? Can you talk to us?
As soon as he steps onto the first stair, something faint but unmistakable moves in the background. A transparent figure gliding across behind a doorway at the top of the stairs. It's quick, almost ghost-like, fading out just as it comes into view. The man freezes and calls out hello into the silence, his voice echoing faintly through the hall. There's no response, no movement, nothing except for a few orbs drifting across the frame, floating gently past the camera lens before disappearing again. The eerie calm that follows makes the moment even more chilling, leaving it unclear whether he was truly alone in that house or not, disregarding his friend, of course. Val had been hearing strange noises coming from the basement for a few nights in a row and assumed it was just rats. Wanting to show her husband, who was at work, what was going on, she decided to grab her phone and film as she went downstairs to investigate. Little did she know that it wasn't really rats at all. The footage shows her carefully walking down the creaky basement steps, trembling slightly as she reaches the bottom. Everything seems quiet at first, until she stops ahead of an old wooden door. Faint scratching sounds can be heard coming from behind it, rhythmic and persistent, as if something is trying to get out. Val stays exactly where she is, when suddenly the door handle lets out a little movement. She gasps and stumbles back, the scratching growing louder for just a few seconds before abruptly stopping. The clip ends with her breathing heavily, unsure whether she'd just encountered rodents or something far worse. This piece of CCTV footage was recorded inside an employee's office long after work hours, and what it captures has left everyone who's seen it completely unsettled. The office had recently been renovated after a fire 2 years prior that destroyed part of the building, but ever since reopening, workers kept reporting odd experiences, such as objects falling from desks, faint whispers when nobody else was around, and even computers turning on by themselves. This clip shows one of those incidents caught on camera. In this particular recording, the room is empty and silent when a faint, transparent white wisp begins to move across the floor. It glides effortlessly across the room, twisting slightly, before rising and fading away into thin air. There's no glare from lights, no insects, and no reflections from outside, just a clear, ghostly shape that shouldn't have been there. After the footage surfaced, the office manager checked the building's security system and confirmed that no one had entered or left the building that night. Strangely, the motion sensors had only been triggered in that one room. Since then, a few employees have refused to work there alone, and it's now referred to by staff as the haunted office, the place where something from before the fire still lingers. An Amazon delivery driver named Leah was recording something strange she experienced while collecting packages from a local storage facility. She'd been doing this route for months with nothing out of the ordinary ever happening, but on this particular day, something inside the building didn't feel right from the moment she walked in, and this intuition proved itself correct.
These people think I'm crazy. Y'all, look at this shit. Just look. You see that shit? Y'all seen that shit? Yo, watch this. Got it on camera. Thank God. What?
As she steps inside, the camera shows rows of storage lockers, most of them shut, except for some near the middle that are mysteriously hanging open. As she shouts to the camera, she closes them, along with a few others that had been left slightly ajar. Everything seems fine as she steps back, but then, as she films from a short distance away, one of the lockers she had just closed creaks and slowly opens itself again. The metal door drags open all the way before stopping on its own, as if something invisible had pushed it from the inside. She didn't stick around to find out what it was. Before the following video started to film, a woman began noticing something unsettling in her home, the distinct sound of footsteps going up and down her stairs at random times. At first, she thought it might be her house settling, or maybe a neighbor outside, but the pattern was too deliberate, too heavy to dismiss. Immediately, determined to find out what was causing it, she started filming.
I keep hearing somebody walk up and down my stairs, but there is obviously nobody there. There's nothing there. And it keeps coming up and down, up and down.
The sounds continued, loud and heavy, echoing through the stairwell as if someone invisible was running up and down. She called out a few times, but there was no response, no sign of movement other than the creaks beneath the unseen steps. The camera pans toward the stairs, clearly showing they're empty, yet the noises persist. Each step seems to press down hard, then stop, then start again. Her breathing grows uneasy as she realizes there's no logical explanation. Nobody else is home, no pets, no people, just those haunting footsteps stomping endlessly. The same woman, still shaken from the footsteps she'd heard days earlier, decided to keep her phone close just in case the noises returned. One evening, while relaxing in her living room, she began hearing something new. It was a deep, metallic scraping echoing from beneath her floor. It sounded slow, deliberate, and heavy, like something heavy and metal dragging across the floor. Take a look.
Guys, and if you hear it, that's exactly what I'm talking about. See, there's nothing out of place over here. There's nobody down here. I'm home alone. Like, there's nothing that should be making that noise. Nothing. I have no idea. This keeps happening. I'll hear this every now and again. But I do not want to be down here right now. I do not want to be down here. I just wanted to show you guys.
She made her way to the basement door, hesitating for a few seconds before opening it. As soon as she flicked the light switch on, the noise stopped completely. The basement fell silent, unnaturally so, as if whatever had been making the sound froze the moment she arrived. She stepped down the creaking steps and scanned the room, her eyes flickering everywhere, but everything was perfectly still. No pipes moving, no tools fallen over, no sign of life. She rushed back upstairs, locking the door behind her. Later, she said she would rather not enter the basement again, and there's no way you would either. Samantha was suddenly jolted awake at around 4 in the morning by strange noises echoing through her room. Still half asleep, but unnerved, she grabbed her phone, turned on the flashlight, and decided to start recording. Wanting people to see it live in case something truly happened, she began streaming on Facebook, a detail that would later prove the footage wasn't edited when it was re-uploaded to YouTube.
Oh, there's them up. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, fuck that shit. What the fuck? What's that? What's up there? What's them? What's that light? Oh, it's out of my charge. Please, it's out of my charge. Oh, them up things fucking.
At first, everything seemed still, but a small orb drifted across the screen, faint but noticeable against the darkness. Samantha's breathing grew heavier as she whispered into the phone, mentioning what she saw. Just as she steadied her camera toward her wardrobe, a loud thud made her jump, signifying that something had fallen from the very top shelf with no visible cause. The stream immediately started being filled up with comments from people watching live, telling her to get out of the room. She panned the camera again, showing the fallen object on the floor, her voice trembling. In the aftermath, Samantha said she hadn't touched that shelf in weeks, and the item that fell was wedged firmly behind other boxes. Since that night, she's been too scared to sleep with the lights off, claiming the noises still return around the same time every morning. A Russian man had set out to explore what locals called an abandoned military bunker deep in the wilderness, a place rumored for years to be haunted by the spirits of those who never made it out. The entrance was a tunnel-like structure, half buried in dirt and stone, with air so still it felt untouched for decades.
Сейчас направляемся на поиски военной секретной заброшенной базы. Там, в лесу такие вот заброшки. Интересно сейчас найти эту базу. Так, идем. Она здесь здоровая, блин, эти дороги такие. Куча этих развилок. Будем направляться потихоньку. Вот, ребята, посмотрите. Подошли уже, нашли наконец-то эту военную секретную базу. Здесь никто не снимал еще, не лазил. И очень интересно самому и ребятам. Посмотрите, какие уже ангары. Так, очень опасно, чтобы не обвалилось. Пошли, ребята. Такие вот здание, помещение. Я думаю, достаем фонарик мой. Я взял. Все. О, смотрите, как классно светит. Ангар такой арочный. В лесу уже, видно, в земле заныканный. Такая вот была здесь военная база. Посмотрите. Какой ангар, ребята. Прикольно, что-то новенькое. И там много таких ангаров. Прикольно, ребята, давно не было у меня таких приключений. Типа сталка. Здесь, ребята, жутковато. Потому что здесь, блин, куча этих волков, зверей всяких. Подходим, идем дальше. Смотреть, что, как. Вот, ребята, еще такой вот бункер. Фу, территория очень большая. Здесь будет очень тяжело найти эти шахты. Так. Пошли. А вот здесь уже стрёмненько, ребята. Какие-то комнаты. Что это было? Ребята! Фу, валим! Фу, блин! Там что-то было в том бункере! Жесть просто! Фу! По-моему, кто-то стоит! Валим! Фу, ребята! Фу! Вот это я, блин, нагонялся! Стрёмненько. Такая вот секретная военная база. Еще, блин, кто-то там лазил.
As he stepped inside, his flashlight cut through the heavy darkness, revealing crumbling walls, rusted pipes, and piles of rubble scattered across the ground. He moved carefully through the first few tunnels, whispering his thoughts in Russian, his voice echoing faintly off the concrete. After several minutes, he finally reached an exit that led him back outside into the cold air, the light from the trees almost blinding compared to what he had just come from. But curiosity got the better of him. He made his way to another sector nearby, one even darker and more decayed than the first. The moment he stepped inside, the atmosphere changed instantly to something thicker and heavier. That's when it happened. From the corner of his light, a faint human figure began emerging from a doorway at the end of the hall. He froze for half a second before bolting out of the bunker, the camera shaking as he gasped for breath. Later, he swore he'd never return to that site again, convinced whatever he saw in that tunnel wasn't living. The following video has the context of a man sitting quietly at home when a series of loud bangs began echoing from his garage. At first, he thought it was the wind or maybe something falling from a shelf, but the sounds were too heavy, too deliberate. Grabbing his phone and a flashlight, he went to check it out.
What is that noise?
The moment he entered the garage, the banging grew louder, pounding in quick bursts that made the metal walls tremble. He followed the sound until he realized it wasn't coming from the floor or the walls, it was above him. The attic hatch in the ceiling was moving ever so slightly, the latch trembling as if something was pushing against it from the other side. He stood frozen, watching it shift just enough to make his heart race before the movement suddenly stopped. Gathering his nerve, he reached up and pulled the hatch down, the ladder unfolding with a creak that echoed through the quiet garage. Slowly, he climbed the steps, flashlight in hand, scanning the corners of the attic. Dust, insulation, and old boxes, nothing else. The place was completely empty, but what unsettled him most was the feeling that, even in the silence, something up there was still watching him from the dark. The following evening, as he walked up the path toward his house, every light inside suddenly flicked off at once. The blackout was so abrupt that he immediately pulled out his phone and began recording.
I was walking towards my house, and all the lights suddenly turned off inside. I don't know if my wife's home or not.
He unlocked the door cautiously and stepped inside, using his flashlight to cut through the thick darkness. His voice was tense as he narrated to us, but nobody else was there, and the house stayed eerily silent. Moving slowly from room to room, the beam of his light caught something swaying above the kitchen table, the ceiling light, still moving back and forth like someone had just brushed past it. He stepped closer, audibly getting nervous, but deep down he knew better. From the kitchen, he walked into the garage, hoping maybe his wife had come home early, but her car wasn't there. He was completely alone. That night he packed a small bag and went to stay with a friend, saying he needed space from whatever was happening in that house. He later said he wasn't sure what his next move would be, but one thing was certain: he wouldn't be spending another night there until he had real answers. Late one night, a woman in her car started filming after her dog began whining uncontrollably at the window across the street. The animal's behavior was strange, with its ears pinned back, tail tucked, refusing to move. Curious and uneasy, she aimed her camera across the road toward the house opposite.
no es normal eso. Ahí paró. Correte. ¿Qué es lo que hace, no? Sí, porque no es que sube y baja así del...
Through the glass of a vibrantly lit upstairs window, something could be seen moving back and forth at an unnaturally fast pace. The figure's motion was erratic and too smooth to be human, gliding side to side in a blur that didn't match the lighting or the rhythm of a person walking. His dog clearly felt some sort of weird presence, and it was almost as if it could sense something he couldn't. Eventually, the figure finally stopped appearing, but it took way longer than expected. It was roughly 3 hours after the clip ended. To this day, he claims no one lives in that house anymore, and his dog still refuses to go near the window after dark. Ian, the Midwest ghost hunter, is one of the most subscribed ghost hunters, and this is from his haunted theater experience, the one where so many strange encounters have already taken place. Still determined to uncover more evidence, he swept his camera slowly around the empty room, giving a full 360-degree view of the walls and the curtains that lined them.
Creepy. Ooh, this is one of the creepiest nights I've experienced so far. Mabel, are you still over here? If she peeks up from those curtains, I'm out of here. That's it, I'm running. Oh man, just imagine.
As he zoomed in on one of the far curtains, the footage abruptly cut to another camera angle pointed at a stairway. This time, the shot had zero movement, no shaking. For a few seconds, nothing happened until a faint white mist began to descend the stairs, almost floating down step by step before fading near the bottom. The mist didn't behave like dust or light glare, and Ian himself confirmed there was no fog or smoke in the building that night. Whatever it was, it seemed to have its own form and direction. For those following Ian's journey through this haunted theater, This moment only deepens the mystery. Subscribe so you don't miss what he discovers next. Athena was on vacation at Myrtle Beach when she decided to record a quick video from her balcony, mostly just panning the camera around to show the ocean, the boardwalk, and the people below. She's calm the entire time, sounding relaxed and completely unaware that something else is happening behind her, until she pans the camera.
Beautiful Myrtle Beach.
As Athena slowly turns the camera back toward the sliding glass door that leads inside her hotel room, something incredibly disturbing appears for just a moment. Behind the sheer curtain, a strange girl peeks out from the side, only her face visible in a quick, stiff motion before she pulls back out of sight. The figure doesn't move naturally, and its face looks real, but uncanny at the same time. What makes the whole thing even more unsettling is Athena has no reaction whatsoever. She keeps recording like nothing happened, clearly seeing the girl, but likely entering freeze mode. Viewers pointed out that no one else was supposed to be in her room, and whatever that was standing behind the curtain definitely wasn't a normal person. A group of 4 friends were having a casual sleepover, hanging out late into the night while one of them had already knocked out on the sofa. The guy recording was just messing around with his phone, filming another friend who was standing in the kitchen grabbing snacks. Nothing unusual at first, just normal sleepover energy. That's until something crazy happened. Take a look.
Aí, fim da festa aí, pessoal. Comprei a câmera nova, vamos colocar um vídeo no YouTube aí, ó.
Ai, que vergonha, não faz isso.
A Josi capotada já, com sono. Aí, Thiago, a câmera que eu comprei nova aí.
Bebeu demais.
Vermelhinha e tal. Vocês nem esperaram pra festa aí, né, mano? Meu Deus do céu, que porra é essa, velho? Mano, eu vi alguma coisa aqui, Thiago. Tem alguma coisa que passou aqui, velho.
Ih, velho.
Tô falando sério, cara. Tô falando sério. Vem aqui comigo, cara.
Tem nada aqui, não.
Eu vi uma coisa assim, cara.
Tá louco, mano?
Maluco. Maluco. Eu vou voltar a câmera. Eu vou voltar a câmera e você vai ver, velho.
As the camera focuses on the friend in the kitchen, something unexpected happens in the background. Behind him, a human-shaped figure glides across from one side to the other. It doesn't walk so much as it moves, too smoothly, almost like it was floating rather than stepping. The person filming immediately pans around to check, but there's nobody there at all. Every person who should have been in the house is accounted for, including the one who jumped up from their sleep. The movement was too fluid, too silent, and too fast to be any of them. Whatever that figure was, it wasn't a friend sneaking around. It was something else entirely, and everyone watching the footage agreed it looked anything but human. In the following video, Keisha was lying in bed with her baby girl, Emma, trying to settle her down for an afternoon nap. She had her phone propped up, casually recording the moment as she softly sang a lullaby, while Ima played with a little hairbrush in her tiny hand. The room was calm and warm, with both of them feeling nice about the moment, but then a shift happened.
Ah! Sorry. Qué linda manita que tiene la bebé. Qué linda, qué bella, qué preciosa es. Come on, do it. Do the hand thing. Qué linda, qué... Good. You do it.
Ima is looking up at her mom, both confused and content, when the hairbrush suddenly yanks downward out of her hand in a way no baby that age could pull on their own. It drops sharply to the mattress, and Ima's eyes dart down, surprised. Throughout the moment, several orbs drift across the screen, small and bright, moving almost intentionally. Keisha keeps singing, completely unaware anything strange just happened, assuming her daughter simply dropped it. But when she watched the footage back later, she immediately realized the brush didn't fall naturally at all. It was pulled. She uploaded the clip after noticing how the orbs appeared at the exact same time, convinced that something unseen had been right there beside them while she was trying to put her daughter to sleep. Suspicious of a paranormal presence in the house, a woman was casually filming someone sitting on the couch in their living room, just recording a normal moment without expecting anything strange to happen at all. The person on the couch is relaxed, scrolling on their phone, and everything in the room seems completely quiet and normal. Then something in the background shifts in a way that is hard to explain. A strange over the person's shoulders into the frame, almost like something quickly darted across the space behind them. The woman holding the camera reacts instantly, gasping as she rushes forward and grabs the camera, hoping nothing else would follow up. There is no one else in the room, no pets, no shadows that could have caused it, but the movement was unmistakable. It happened close enough to the person on the couch that if something was there, it was right behind them. After reviewing the footage later, she realized how unnerving it actually was, and the fact that it moved so close without either of them noticing makes the moment even more chilling. Michelle was filming again with her phone, sitting a few feet from a small decorative paper dragon hanging on the wall. She'd been dealing with activity for a while, and decided to ask whatever was in the house to move something, hoping to finally catch undeniable proof. At first, the paper dragon only shook a little, swaying in these tiny movements that could have been written off as airflow, and Michelle even said she wasn't convinced by that alone.
Well, I picked up Trevor before you did.
Yeah, but it might not be him moving it.
Oh, I see.
Is it Trevor moving it? Move it again. You'll have to do better than that.
God. Did you see that one? You know. Do it again, I saw it. Can you have a replay?
Okay. You have to do better than that. Thank you.
God. I know what it is, it's the clock.
No, the clock's not working.
Oh God, is it working?
Thank you very much. So that is you then, Trevor?
Yeah, it is. Did you see it move?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Can you do anything else?
We'll sit down now.
Without any warning, the dragon suddenly jolted in a sharp, deliberate motion, snapping sideways hard enough that Michelle and her sister both gasped at the exact same time. Their reactions were instant and completely genuine, immediately backing away from it as Michelle asked out loud if it was Trevor, her husband who had passed, trying to get through to them. There was no answer, no voice, no follow-up movement, but the single violent jolt was enough to shake both of them. Even in the silence afterward, the atmosphere in the room felt heavy, like someone else was standing there just out of frame, listening but choosing not to reveal more. A little kid was being filmed in the living room, while his dad tried to capture a cute moment, but the clip ended up being anything but cute. Everything is normal at first, until music suddenly starts playing from somewhere. Not loud, but just eerie enough to catch the kid's attention.
A ver. carajo? Mames. Quédate, hijo, quédate. No mames. Amor. No me lo vas a creer.
He slowly turns his head toward the door, and in the glass panel on it, you can clearly see movement behind the glass, like a person shifting or walking past. The kid's eyes go wide and he keeps staring, confused and a little scared. His dad instantly reacts, before rushing outside to check who or what could have been standing there. But once he gets outside, there is nothing. No footsteps, no shadows, no signs of anyone walking past the door at all. Whatever appeared behind that glass wasn't a real person, and the kid definitely sensed it before the adult did. The upcoming clip is very disturbing, and a small group is gathered around an extremely unsettling doll, dressed in a long white gown, something they had been investigating because of reports that it could move on its own. At first, they're simply holding its hands and supporting it as they walk it slowly up and down the sidewalk, almost like they're testing whether the movements are intentional or mechanical. The creepy part is how naturally its legs move, lifting and stepping with perfect rhythm, more precise than anything a simple prop should be able to do. Its joints bend smoothly, ligaments shifting in a way that looks disturbingly lifelike for a doll. They eventually decide to stop assisting it and let go of its arms completely.
Y con las dos manos sí caminó, ¿verdad? Con usted.
Entonces te fue para atrás. Sí.
¿Y nunca se le ha salido?
Se asoma por la ventana. Cuando yo me salgo a un mandado que no hay nadie. La tengo en mi cuarto y otra cuando está en lado.
Ajá.
¿En la ventana o en otro lado? No.
Se la estiro y no ve.
¿Qué onda, Fabián?
Se hace dura, mira.
A ver, Yuma.
Espérame. Ahorita para que la señora la cambie.
Agárrala,
no pasa nada.
Agárrala, hijo.
Mira, agárrala.
Mira. Mira, mira, mira. Mira. ¿Ya viste? Más con su dueña. Mira, ya dio la vuelta. Es aquí en Saltillo. Es... Agárrala de... ¡Ah! Mira, con Eder sí quiso. No, ya no va a querer. Con Eder, con Yair camina poquito. Con él camina poquito. Fíjese que... Entonces cuando no está usted, ella se asoma.
Sí. A veces que vengo a la tienda, otros días a un señor y a una señora, y a varios, aquí esperándome.
Ajá.
Y usted lo vio en la muñeca, sí. Dice, pues mire, su muñeca está asomando por la ventana. Y que me va cambio. Es que la dejo en mi cuarto, como se acuesta conmigo, ahí la dejo. Y yo me salgo, y ya para cuando pienso la encuentro en otro lado, o en otro cuarto, o así.
Pero eso se debe a lo que dice que...
The group steps back, half laughing and half terrified, but the moment their hands leave, it is the moment everything feels wrong. The doll twitches, one leg shifting slightly forward like it's trying to take another step, even without anyone touching it. Nobody can deny what they just saw. The group stares in silence, slowly backing away from it, realizing they may have been guiding something that didn't really need their help to move at all. The man in the upcoming video appeared to be working an early shift and was sitting inside what looked like an indoor forklift, breathing heavily and sounding genuinely distressed as he started recording the rear mirror in front of him. He had been hearing things around the back of the complex and finally decided to see if he could catch whatever it was.
¿Qué onda? Ando aquí acomodando unas tarimas en el monte y desde hace rato siento como que algo se asoma de allá atrás. A ver si lo alcanzo a grabar. Mira. ¡Ah, la verga! Mira. ¡Ah! No mames, sí se vio. ¡Ah, la verga! Pero no hay nadie. Aquí adentro estoy yo solo.
As he slowly began reversing the forklift, the mirror suddenly caught something that made him gasp. A black figure, there but not fully solid, almost like a shadow, ducked behind a stack of pallets the moment the vehicle moved. He froze for a second before stepping out with the camera pointed straight ahead, while calling out to see if anyone was there. He walked all the way toward the back where the thing had been, showing every corner and every open space, but there was nothing at all. No footsteps, no shadows, no place for anything to hide. The fact that the figure was only visible through the mirror made the whole moment even stranger, and his panicked breathing made it clear he knew he had just seen something he was never supposed to. Snowball99, a smaller YouTuber known for occasionally sharing strange moments from her home, uploaded a video that quickly caught the attention of paranormal-believing viewers. She had been watching TV for quite some time when, out of nowhere, the lights in her living room suddenly shut off, plunging the space into an uneasy dimness. Rather than ignoring it, she decided to grab her phone and start recording to document anything unusual.
You're seeing
Vilela has just arrived at the table. Player from Brazil with total live earnings of $75,000. Yeah, Diego, let's see a flop connect cards to make a decent top pair. He calls as well. We're going three-way to the flop.
What's it going mad?
For a while, nothing else seemed to happen besides the faint sound of the television in the background. But as the silence settled, both of her dogs began to whimper simultaneously, their eyes fixed on the same corner of the room. It was the kind of reaction animals have when they sense something humans can't. Just as the video is about to end, viewers can clearly see a grey teddy bear on the floor subtly shift on its own. A small but unmistakable movement. Snowball99 immediately stops recording, her breathing audible and shaken, and later wrote that she hadn't been able to sleep properly since. The clip spread quickly, with many calling it one of her eeriest uploads yet. 2 nights after the Teddy incident, Snowball99 found herself on edge. She'd been trying to convince herself that what happened last time was a one-off, maybe just her imagination playing tricks on her. But when faint noises started echoing through her bedroom late at night, she didn't hesitate, and she instantly grabbed her phone to hit record. She slowly panned the camera across the room, showing every corner to prove there was nothing and no one else inside. As the camera settled back toward her bed, her sheets began to shift unnaturally, as if something was moving underneath them. Her dogs weren't in the room this time, making the moment even harder to rationalize. She tried to keep the camera steady, breathing heavily, when suddenly a pen fell off her desk completely on its own. There was no breeze, no movement nearby, and she made sure to replay the clip in slow motion for viewers so they could see exactly what she saw. No visible cause. By the end of the video, her breathing was shaky, and she admitted later that she slept with her parents for the rest of the week, despite her older age. Whatever is in that room doesn't seem to be slowing down, and they're looking into bringing a helper in.